for those of you that are new here, welcome to our channel. I'm Jessie.
And we're Moms on Crime. And today, Jess is going to tell us a story, another Phoenix story, about another incident of serial shooters. Jessie, what's today's story?
Yes. So, if you guys have seen our other video, we already talked about serial shooters. So that happened back in 2005 to 2006. So Mama, 10 years later, another serial shooter happened in Arizona. I don't know if he's like, oh, it's the 10-year anniversary. Let me do something
I think
similar.
it's a weird stigma for our state that we've got people that like to randomly shoot at people.
Right, exactly. It's crazy. So we are going to talk about another serial shooter, also known as the Maryvale serial shooter or the serial street shooter. This happened back in 2015 to 2016. So the suspect is Aaron Juan Saucedo. He was linked to 12 shootings, resulting in 9 deaths and 3 injured. I didn't really get a history from his childhood and stuff because it happened so recent. So I guess, all the stuff that I found are from news clippings and just news stuff. But all I know is Aaron went to North High School in Phoenix during his freshman and sophomore years, and then he dropped out, and I don't know if he went to school after that. I'm not too familiar with North High, but I think my husband knows where that is.
My husband went there.
Did he really?
Graduated from North? Yeah.
Did he? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's why I was like, I wonder if Michelle knows where this at. I'm pretty sure you do.
I've been here forever. I know all the high schools around.
That's crazy. But yeah, but he only went there during his freshman and sophomore, and then he dropped out. So I don't know if he finished high school or he just got his GED. But on 2015, though, he was working as a public bus driver, and he was working for a temp agency doing labor jobs. His dad, Jose Juan Segura, sorry, I don't know if I said that right, but he is a well-known music producer and musician that specializes in, okay, I'm so sorry, I'm totally gonna butcher this, narco corridos. I think it's a genre from northern Mexico that chronicles, or maybe some might say glamorizes, Mexican drug cartels. You know how so sometimes my husband would play some songs and stuff, and I don't understand what they're talking about, and he doesn't either because he doesn't speak Spanish. But he tells me that they're telling a story about somebody that was involved in the drug business and this and that. So so I guess his dad is pretty famous in Mexico. So I also learned that, I'm not sure if it's his band or the band that he produced, they had some appearances in Breaking Bad, the TV show Breaking Bad. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. But anyways, back to Aaron. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So Aaron terrorized Arizona, like I said, back in 2015 to 2016. Most victims were shot and killed in the Maryvale area, which is a predominantly Latino section of West Phoenix. So that's why he's called the Maryvale shooter. And people from Maryvale, they called him the Maryvale monster. His victims were Latinos and African Americans. So once again, we have someone terrorizing the city. So I do have a timeline of his shootings. So let me read through So back in 2015, on August 12th, at 900 East Coulter Street, he fired into a home. So luckily, nobody got hurt. So I'm not sure if people were inside the house or nobody was inside the house. So I guess during the investigation, that's when they found out, that's how it started, I guess. And then on August 16, 2015, Raul Romero, who was 61 years old, he was shot multiple times in his driveway. Also, Raul Romero was Aaron Saucedo's mom's boyfriend at the time.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. He's probably like, I don't want you dating my mama, so I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he didn't like the guy, and
I wonder if that's the first person he shot, and maybe he was kind of like, hey, I like doing this,
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it started with like, I don't like you, I hate this guy, and then he shot him, and something triggered.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, I actually kind of like doing this.
Yeah, and maybe the rush, the adrenaline, who knows? So then on 2016, New Year's, January 1st, Jesse Olivas, 22 years old, was shot to death on a sidewalk. On March 17th, a 16-year-old boy was shot and wounded while walking down the street at around 11:30 p.m. And this was believed to be the first shooting during the original investigation. But the boy survived, luckily. On March 18, a 21-year-old man was shot and wounded while standing outside his vehicle at 11:30 p.m. So these are random people, once again, that, he's shooting at. So the 21-year-old man, thank God, he survived as well. On April 1st, Diego Verdugo Sanchez, 21 years old, was shot and killed around 9 p.m. while visiting his pregnant fiance's house and her family. And he was shot in front of their house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
he
sad.
died?
Yeah.
He died? Oh my God, no.
Yeah. Like, poor baby. Didn't even get the chance to meet his dad,
That's so sad.
Mm-hmm. And then on April 19th, Crystal Annette White, 55 years old, she was found shot to death at 500 North 32nd Street. On June 1st, Horatio Pena, 32 years old, was shot to death outside his house after returning home from work. Can you imagine? You clocked out of work, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go home. Finally, I get to relax. But next thing you know, something tragic like that would happen.
That's sad. And like getting shot from like somebody in a car, you know what I mean? Like they don't even get a chance to, they don't see it coming, They can't run. That's sad.
Yeah. So, and then on June 10th, Manuel Castro Garcia, 19 years old, he was walking outside his house like around 9:30 p.m. and he got killed. He got shot. So a police nearby heard the gunshots and rushed to the scene. But as soon as the cop got there, the suspect has already fled. So he got lucky that night.
Yeah. Especially like over in Maryvale, there's a lot of crime over there, There's a lot of cops around. That's not a good area.
Yeah, that's what my husband said too.
Yeah, that's not a good area. So there's like a lot of cops over there, so that's like really risky, That's a big risk to take.
Yeah, if you know that there's a lot of cops and that's the place to pick to do your shootings, I mean.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and I wonder if maybe he was hoping they would think it was like gang related, I don't think people think a lot about like ballistics testing and stuff, that they can tell that they all come from the same gun, I don't think a lot of people know about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought that they were just going to chalk it up to like the violence that's already in that neighborhood, like gang violence or something.
And it's crazy because what, after he did like his third or fourth crime, that's when the police kind of looked back to the other shootings and kind of, you know, started investigating that they're somewhat connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on June 12th at around 2 to 3 a.m., he shot at a vehicle. And in that vehicle were 3 people. So we have Angela Linner, Stephanie Ellis, and Stephanie's daughter, Malia, who was 12 years old.
Oh.
So Angela and Malia, the 12-year-old girl, got killed in the car. Stephanie was rushed to the hospital. She initially survived, but she died 3 weeks later from her gunshot wounds. And I heard too, I saw this news clipping. The brother said that he heard gunshots that morning and he rushed outside just to find the car, you know, filled with like gunshots. And when he went there, I guess he saw them kind of piled onto each other. Maybe they were trying to protect each other while getting shot at. But
oh my God. No, that's sad.
Yeah, it was just a horrific scene, you know. It's just crazy. Yeah. So on July 11th, he opened fire on a car occupied by a 21-year-old man and a 4-year-old boy. But thank God they survived. They weren't injured or anything. But can you imagine? Like, I have a 4-year-old boy. Oh, I can't. I can't even imagine. Like, I don't know.
How scary, like, that feeling as a parent that you're in a car with your kid and they're in the back in a car seat strapped in. It's not like
exactly.
You can't tell them to get on the floor to try to hide from it, you know?
No, yeah. I mean, it's scary as it is, like if it happens for you alone, but let alone your kid is right there. That takes it to a whole new different level. So it's just crazy. So yeah, and then during those years, a series of freeway shootings were happening at the same time. So a brief story about that back in 2015 to 2016 as well, right? There were like there's a person that was shooting at drivers at on the I-10 freeway. I remember those years. I was pregnant and you know, I was going to the doctors and I was taking the I-10 and I was just super scared. Every time there's like an overpass, I always check, make sure that nobody's up there or, you know, nobody's acting suspicious.
Yeah. I like actually came home from work one day. We worked on the weekend. We have to work we used to work overtime at work. And I came home and my husband was watching TV. We were about to like leave to go get something to eat for lunch. It was like around noon. And on the 12 o'clock news, it came up that they were like, oh, there's a car pulled over on I-10 and it looks like it has bullet holes in it. I had just driven on that part of I-10. Coming home, I missed it by like 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Freaking out. Yeah. Scary.
It was really, really like super scary moment, you know, like you have this freeway shooter and then this shootings that's happening in Maryvale. It was another crazy year, kind of like what happened with the baseline killer and the serial shooters. What's up?
Yes.
Like,
I don't know. You know what I was thinking in the beginning when you were talking and you were saying that he has 9 victims?
Yeah.
The baseline killer had 9 and those serial shooters had 9.
That is
kind of
crazy.
That's weird, right? They all had 9. All 3 of them had 9.
That's, yeah. And exactly 10
weird.
years apart.
Yeah, and it was same time of year and everything.
Yeah.
Summer, like spring, summer.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a little bit more investigation to see. Conspiracy.
Maybe. I'm into numbers. I'm into like the weird numbers. Like, what do they call that? Like numerology?
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah.
That's just crazy. Oh, wow.
conspiracy theories.
Ooh, let us know, guys, if you guys want to hear any conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so that's happening, and the Maryvale shootings were happening at the same time. So initially, the police are trying to think: are they the same person, or like same people? Because at this time, they don't know if it's one person or multiple people that are doing it. Like, they don't have any clues. But Phoenix Police Chief Jerry Williams said that there's no evidence linking to the freeway shootings to the Maryvale shooter, but some Valley TV stations were speculating the cases might be linked because both Aaron Saucedo and the freeway shooter were using a 9mm high point handgun, which they both pawned at the same place, at the same location, Mo Money Pawn Shop in Phoenix.
Oh, I know that.
And they have the same gun, and they pawned it at the same location, the same pawn shop. Yeah, which is crazy and weird, right?
Oh my god.
And some witnesses too described that they have seen a black Beamer driving away, which Saucedo was driving too. So Saucedo was using 3 different cars. He had a white Lincoln Cadillac and a black Beamer. So witnesses said that they've seen, like during like 2 of the freeway shooting locations, they've seen a black Beamer just drive, like speeding up, I guess, or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So he used like 3 different cars and then probably like try to throw off the police, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But the police said it's not, they're both different. So the freeway shooter is not the same as the Maryvale shooter because Saucedo's gun did not match the freeway shootings, only the freeway shooter. So they captured a person for the freeway shootings, but he was then released, but he was in jail for 7 months. So I guess there were enough evidence, or I don't know what happened, but they just released him. And now he is suing the city for arresting him, for wrongfully detaining him for 7 months. I think he was in jail for 7 months.
7 months? And then they were like, oh, oops, it's not you?
Oops, it's not you. What? Sorry. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yep. So then they have a $75 reward to catch the Maryvale shooter. And there were 3,300 tips to the Silent Witness Anonymous hotline, led the police to connect Saucedo to a string of slayings to all the shootings. So there was like a composite sketch and, his car with the license plate number. So on April 19th, 2017, Aaron Juan Saucedo was arrested. But Saucedo, he was also accused of telling police that he changed his appearance after news coverage of the sketch and the serial shootings. He also stopped using his black Beamer once the police, released information about the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he pleaded not guilty. And like on the advice of his defense team, Aaron has been a no-show to his hearing in Maricopa County Superior Court. And new court filings show both Saucedo's attorney and the prosecutors are looking to find out whether he's competent enough to withstand trial. And I heard initially the prosecutors are going for the death penalty. But I guess there's a video of Aaron that was leaked to the public. So now his attorneys were like, "Oh yeah, that goes against his constitutional rights, this and that. So we suggest that you guys drop the death penalty if, proven."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the video of?
He's he's in jail. Saucedo is kept in solitary for 24 hours a day and is only allowed 1 hour to go out of his cell into this adjoining day room with a telephone. So he's allowed for an hour a day. So I guess there's a camera in that adjoining room, and he was just there making a phone call, just walking around, and I think that was released to the public. And the lawyers are saying that that goes against his constitutional rights because he wanted his privacy. So
but how does that equate to, like, oh, you should take the death penalty off the table? Like, he killed.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know how lawyers do it, but I'm pretty sure they find a way, like the wordings or whatnot to get to what they want. So now he is in jail. I'm not sure when the next trial is, but I think I heard it's going to be in 2021. And because the freeway shooter is suing the city, so I think they're being super careful about this case because he pleaded not guilty. And I guess they don't want to do the same mistake, to what happened when they arrested the freeway shooter.
Wow.
So, yeah. Well, we'll keep you guys updated if we hear anything, what the convictions are, if he's going to get the death, if he's going to get life. So we'll see.
Wow. That was a crazy story. And I remember that well.
Oh, yeah.
That's something for serial shooters. I don't know.
Yeah.
What that's all about.
It's crazy because during those times, I was pregnant. So I think I was more focused on the freeway shooting because I was using the freeway to go to the doctors and to go back to work. And, like, I was pregnant, and I didn't. When you're pregnant, you feel so vulnerable and you feel like everybody's just after you, So it was really, really scary for me that, I heard about the Maryvale shooter, but I didn't really, focused on the news waiting for the Maryvale shooter, but I wanted an update about the freeway shooter.
We were thinking, I remember back then, like, there was a story that happened like years and years and years ago. It might have been like in Washington, D.C., but there was serial shooters there too. It was two people working together, and they were like working like snipers. So they had like put a hole in the trunk of their car, and one of them would hide in the trunk while the other one drove, and they would shoot people from the trunk.
Oh, wow.
So when all this was happening on I-10, I remember I was like, oh my God, like, how is someone driving on the freeway and shooting at people? Like, is it two people working together again? Like, is somebody hiding in a trunk and shooting people from the trunk of a car? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if he had someone working with him for the freeway ones.
Yeah,
if he did those too.
That's what people were saying too. They said it's not just one person. But
how could it be?
Yeah.
Well,
initially with Aaron Saucedo too, the street shooter, initially they thought that there was multiple people too, so it can't just be one. But during the investigation, I think it's just one because I think also sometimes he would shoot at his victims, and then sometimes he would get out of the car and shoot them because they could tell that it's the way they were shot was like so close. And I'm like, he's brave. Like, what has he's a kid. He's young too, so I don't know what goes on in his head. If
people are crazy.
Yeah.
People are crazy, and I don't trust anybody.
Yeah, I know. Me too. And then I saw this video of him too when he was appearing in front of the judge, and he was saying, "It wasn't me. I'm not guilty, he's just a kid. Like, you could, you know what I mean? It's like, if you would see it, like, he's this kid, but
wow.
yeah, but I feel so bad and so sad for his victims.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure
their own business.
Yeah. And it just
Sad.
happened so recently, and they don't have any convictions yet, so I'm pretty sure they're they want justice, of course. Who doesn't want justice for a family member that you lost? So
yeah, for sure. Well, Mama, that was a crazy story.
So that's our story. Well, we hope you guys liked it. If you guys did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to put a comment down below if you guys want updates, and we'll give you guys an update on what happened or what will happen to him. Yeah.
And also, please make sure you hit the notification bell. That way when we upload, you get notified. And that's all we have for today. So thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Bye.